So this is a relatively simple, straightforward daily routine that I use to maintain strength and flexibility. Even if I'm not able to do other training in a day, this is enough to maintain my baseline. I encourage you to use this just as a starting point for yourself. And as you explore, you might find other stretches that benefit you or some other strength building exercises that you want to work in there. Feel free to adjust as you see fit. Pay attention to your own body and what you need. The one guideline that I'll give you is be easy with yourself. Don't worry about how many reps, how deep the push-ups are, whatever. Just give it what you can, and when you run into that tension, that's when you relax and let it go. If you do that every day, then the workout will be something that you can enjoy and isn't that big a deal. So right now what I'm doing is deep breathing. Deep inhale, relaxed exhale. I did that 30 times before I started these push-ups. And then I do as many push-ups as I can after exhaling. In this set, that'll be about 60 push-ups. Start wherever you're comfortable with. So when I started this routine, for me, the push-ups, that was 20. And even shallower than these ones, and just not very much because I was recovering from an injury. Also, the flexibility that I had was dramatically impinged from a couple of injuries. So just start wherever you're comfortable, no force, enjoy the process. So as we move through the stretches, I'm using my breath in a particular way too. How you breathe is probably the most powerful tool you have for affecting your performance, not just in how many push-ups you can do or energy you can put out, but also in how well you can relax and release the body. So as I do these stretches, I just go to where I first feel tension, and I inhale there, hold for a few seconds like that, and let go. And if my body was relaxed further, then I go a little bit further into the stretch. I'm never pushing. There's no need to. With those stretches, it's all about relaxing and releasing, not just tension, but if, like me, you're dealing with a few older injuries, then you'll have areas where the fascia of the body is guarding too, and that takes a little bit of time and patience to unwind. So we have a single leg stretch on each side, and then a double leg stretch forward as well. For the butterfly stretch here, as you're working into it, try to keep the back mostly straight so that the stretch is in the hips and you're not compensating for tightness there by rounding the back too much. But don't worry about it if you need to round some at first. You'll get there. And so as you're working, when you inhale and you're feeling that tension, really focus your mind in the area where you're feeling it. You're not necessarily trying to do anything with that focus. You're not trying to make the muscle do something. You're trying to become more aware. And as you become more aware and you hold your mind and you're holding your breath in that spot, things will start to unwind for you. So this is the usual pace that I'm going. This is what I do every day, or most days. So it's not about holding the stretch for 3 or 4 minutes. You can go longer if you want. Just, again, listen to your own body, what you need. But this is my daily routine, and so part of what I'm looking for there is something that has a really low cost, something that I can do even when the day is kind of crazy. I can find a few minutes to take care of my body and get really good results with a routine like this one. Most, if not all, of these are stretches that are found in yoga. So if you want a detailed breakdown on sort of what the alignment should be, what muscles you're working on, all that stuff's available for free online, and I really encourage you to check it out. Also, if you're running into tightness in other areas that isn't really getting addressed, then there's a lot of resources out there to find stretches that'll help you. Always be gentle with the body and listen to it as you move. One other thing that I want to note as I'm making these adjustments is don't bounce or force the stretch. So it's called ballistic stretching, where you're bouncing, and it's not great for your muscles. You can look into why if you want to. But every adjustment I'm making is because the body's relaxed a little bit more. Sometimes I might need to move and pull myself up out of it so that I can then go further down into it, and that's fine as long as it's gentle as you do that movement. So this is another one where I'll point out that I had a lot of tightness in the back, and you'll see me do a modification or a variation here where I tuck my arm through. That wasn't even close to possible for me in the beginning. And if I tried to have forced it, I would have injured something, or it would have been so unpleasant that I wouldn't have kept doing the training. Think about it being an everyday thing. So it should be something that you enjoy and that feels good and that you feel better after doing. All of these stretches, if there's one that's just not looking possible for you right now, it's no big deal. Again, you can find modifications for all of them online. Just start wherever you're at, work consistently. The flexibility that I have now is about a year of practice, 10 to 15 minutes a day. Not too bad. So this one, I'm planting the palms behind me on the mat. Fingers are pointed away, and just slowly sliding the hips forward and relaxing into the shoulders, opening up the front of the chest as well with this one. So it's very passive. I'm letting my weight gently, slowly work on the shoulder tissue to open it up. So a lot of people's backs are pretty tight, and this is an area that I want to reinforce, be gentle. If I take my time with it and I only go further when I'm able to relax and release, then that guideline should keep me safe with all of these stretches. I'm not going to hurt or pull or tear something unless I'm applying a lot of force to it and trying to make it do something it's not ready to do yet. That's why with gentle as the guide, you can largely be your own teacher. And as you're exploring your body and listening closely, you'll find things that a teacher is actually not going to be able to see from the outside. Slight rotations in the angle of your foot as you're doing a leg stretch will give you access to different strands of the muscle and help you release different adhesion points. So now we've moved into the balance and strengthening exercises. And this one, I'll demo at the end how this started out for me. But all of these are very, very manageable balance exercises and something anybody can do with a bit of persistence. I also want you to see that even though I've been doing this for a while, it's a work in progress, and it always will be. There's yogis out there and gymnasts who have levels of flexibility and strength and balance that are just amazing, otherworldly. But this is something that we can all do, and if we want to reach that level, then we can. We just have to work consistently for it from wherever we're at. So these balance exercises, I'm still using that breathing and relaxing tension. The balance is mostly about alignment and strength too, but no amount of strength is going to compensate for bad alignment or tension pulling you out of alignment. So if you're straining a lot when you're trying these balance exercises, what I do is I'm always looking for how can this be easier? How can I let more of my weight be held by my skeleton and release the body more into this posture? These last couple positions are inversions, a shoulder stand and a headstand. And with these, there's modifications too that you can use to build up the strength and the flexibility. I think inversions are fantastic. Just letting gravity work the other way, and what that does for your vascular and your lymph system, and helping it circulate, I think is just a really wonderful thing. And they feel fantastic. So this is the routine, again, that I use to maintain myself in good condition, not just for my jiu-jitsu training, but also helps me, relax and release more into my Tai Chi training. And it's something I do that helps me, at this point, I'm 38, and I'm still feeling stronger and stronger and more flexible, because I'm taking care of myself. But I think that I would have started to feel worse if I hadn't been doing things that were helping me restore from all the overuse and wear and tear injuries. So this is one of the reasons that I really encourage you to do some kind of routine like this, because really we all have the potential to feel healthy and fantastic our whole lives. So that was about a year of work, and I wish I had some before footage, but the thing that inspired me to really start stretching regularly, I've been giving advice for a long time, I was reasonably flexible, and Tai Chi does a lot for me as well. And maybe it would have been enough just in that if I hadn't been doing other really hard arts, boxing, things like that too, that's putting a lot more wear on the body. But I had something up with a rotator cuff, maybe a tear. It lasted, the pain was really severe, really severe.
the most disorienting pain I've been in, and it lasted for intensely for about a month, and then started to get better, but it was still there, and my left side was feeling really weak. So when I started stretching, for example, like reaching back and clasping hands was an impossibility. That was an intermediate step in the stretches that I do. So that one I would, take my hand back here, behind the back, and then eventually I could do here, and then I could hold it there and kind of like does and wiggle and bite, and then eventually I got good. And the right side, the pain was on the left, the right side was the one that I was like, this is it. I didn't make a move past it. And then that one took probably 6 months to get here, and then have that be a comfortable, natural movement again. The key, and all the stretches were like that. This one, I'd never really been past here before. Anytime I tried this stretch before, I usually pulled something and it sucked for a while. And that would always back me off the stretch. So I didn't force anything. That was advice that I got. Didn't force anything, and the breath that I'm using helps, so that, when I'm going into a stretch, even if I can put my knee on my nose or whatever, I stop where I first feel tension. Deep breath in for a few seconds, and then I just go where I comfortably can move into, and again, and so on. So, all in, I think the routine takes me 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the day. And I think it's really important to combine some balance and strengthening exercises with the stretching. Because loose without strength is not great. And so that's where the balance postures come in. So this one, like the first time I tried to do this one, it looked like this. It went up and down. This is a soft ground. But when I would try it, I was just committed to trying and not forcing it. So every day I try it. Every day. I miss a day here and there, but pretty much every day. And the surprising thing is it doesn't take that long. Some of them took longer, like the splits, and you can see I'm still working on one side, getting all the way down to the ground, because I'm not willing to push it or fudge it. And just relax a little bit every day. The other side is there, and again, that's something I thought was just not going to happen. So that's what I do. I aim for every day. Most weeks it happens every day. Some weeks, I got 2 young kids, and it doesn't happen. And that's okay. Don't force it, right? So, and the push-ups. So the deep breathing, 30 breaths like that, and then after the exhale, you do the push-ups. And you can argue about form, whatever. I don't care. Just you do as many as you can of whatever you're doing, and then when you need to take a breath, you take a breath. And so that's usually between 60 or 70. 70 usually at this point, 60 today. And I might go for more, I might not. It doesn't really matter. I've got the strength that I want, I think. So the one other thing that I'll turn you on to, and I'll put a note in the page that I put this on, is the breathing is something called the Wim Hof method. And I've done something similar to it, a little more intense, similar to it in terms of time. In the past, that involves these long retentions, holding your breath for long periods after deep breathing. But the Wim Hof method is the cleanest, simplest, most approachable, non-dogmatic. You don't have to be affiliated with any particular, you don't have to be like yoga or whatever. It's just really, really good. Very simple, very powerful tool. And I would encourage you to check it out. I'm not a certified Wim Hof person at all. But I've done it now for a little more than a year and a half. So I'm pretty deep into it, and I like it a lot. I do that every day too. So between the breathing meditation and the stretching, now we're at 35 to 45 minutes. And that I consider like, but if I can't get in and train, that's it. That's what I do. I do Tai Chi. But that can be at different times. That's the routine.